While most of the town slept peacefully, unaware of the horror unfolding just miles away, a killer was already moving through the darkness, and by the time dawn approached, 4 people would be dead, turning a quiet night into one of the most chilling crime scenes in modern American history. Because what made this case so disturbing was not only the loss of life, but the silence, no alarms, no immediate witnesses, and no clear explanation in the critical early hours. Investigators would later determine that the murders occurred within a short window of time, suggesting planning, confidence, and a frightening level of control. The victims were attacked while they were most vulnerable, and the killer moved quickly, leaving behind a scene that would haunt detectives for months. As police arrived, they were met with confusion and disbelief. Multiple victims, no forced entry that immediately stood out, and a crime that appeared both brutal and calculated. Early on, investigators faced an overwhelming challenge. How does someone kill 4 people in one night and vanish without leaving a clear trail? The community was thrown into panic. Parents demanded answers, students left town, and fear spread faster than facts. Yet police remained careful, knowing that speculation could derail the investigation. Instead, they focused on rebuilding the night minute by minute. Surveillance footage became one of the first critical tools. Cameras from nearby homes, businesses, and streets were collected and analyzed. Thousands of hours reviewed frame by frame, until a pattern began to emerge. A vehicle moving through the area at unusual hours, appearing near the crime scene multiple times, slowing down, circling, then disappearing. It wasn't enough to make an arrest, but it was enough to keep investigators watching. Forensic teams worked relentlessly, collecting DNA, analyzing fibers, footprints, and trace evidence. Knowing that even the smallest detail could break the case open, behavioral analysts were brought in, and their profile suggested the killer was organized, likely familiar with the area, and capable of remaining calm under extreme pressure. This was not impulsive violence. This was controlled, deliberate, and that made it even more dangerous. Days turned into weeks, and still no arrest. The public began to question whether the killer would ever be caught. But behind closed doors, the investigation was tightening. Cell phone data revealed a device that appeared to be near the victim's location on multiple occasions before the murders, suggesting surveillance or prior knowledge. Analysts compared this data with vehicle movements, digital records, and travel patterns. Slowly narrowing the field, the suspect believed he was careful, that he left nothing behind. But like most killers, he underestimated modern investigations. A single mistake, something he considered insignificant, connected everything. When police finally identified their suspect, they moved quietly, knowing the risk. The arrest itself was controlled and methodical. No dramatic chase, no resistance, just a man taken into custody who showed little emotion. Experts later described his demeanor as detached, a common trait among individuals who compartmentalize violence. For the families, the arrest brought mixed emotions: relief that the killer was no longer free, and pain that justice could never restore what was lost. Court documents revealed how close the suspect came to escaping detection, how small decisions nearly derailed the case, and how patience ultimately won. This investigation demonstrated how modern law enforcement relies not on a single clue, but on the intersection of technology, psychology, and persistence. 4 lives were taken before dawn, and while the arrest answered the question of who, it left behind deeper questions that still linger. How someone can hide in plain sight, how warning signs are missed, and how fragile normal life can be. Because in cases like this, the night ends, the sun rises. But for those affected, the darkness never truly fades.